Hi everybody, welcome to Nomad Yoga. This is part 5 of the low back series, where I'm going to be working with something called a back mitra. And if you don't have one of these, I'll show you how to fold a towel to make something similar to this. If you've done this kind of work with the back mitra before, you can skip this introductory section and just go straight to the start of the practice. But if you've never done this before, I'd recommend you watch this introduction just to get familiar with the placement of the mitra in order to get the most benefit from it. So the back mitra is something that was developed by a person from Holland to work with releasing the fascia in the body. And we're going to use this today for opening the upper back and shoulders. A lot of us are tight in that area of the body from sitting a lot in front of a computer, sitting at a desk. And for a lot of us, what happens when we lift the arms up is the ribs want to go forward because the shoulders are stiff. So we end up having to do this to lift the shoulders, instead of being able to keep the ribs in place as we lift the arms. So if you're someone who suffers from low back pain and you suspect it may be because you're tight in your upper back, this will be a very useful exercise for you. Just a couple of pointers before we begin. With a few of the exercises, I'm saying straighten the elbows and bring the lower front ribs in. If you find you get to a point as you take the arms up that the elbows need to bend, then stop at that point. Equally, if the ribs need to stick out, stop at that point. And you'll find gradually as you work with this, the shoulders and the upper back will free up over a few weeks and a few months. So let me just show you first of all how to fold the towel in order to make something similar to the mitra. If you take a towel in a square shape like this, fold it once, fold it a second time, and even, if possible, a third time, so that you've created a long sausage-like shape like this, which is similar to the mitra, because this is going to go underneath your spine. If you're very stiff in the upper back, you're probably going to need something under the head as well. But before we use that, you can lie onto your back and just allow yourself to experience exactly where your spine is in relation to the floor. So you're just going to notice, is your lower back touching the floor? Is your middle back touching the floor? Is your upper back touching the floor? Of course, there's no right or wrong answer here. Just notice. Notice if you have more weight on the left or the right side. And you're just generally checking in with the feeling of the spine and how much of it is in contact with the floor. A lot of us hold a lot of tension in the back of the body. And then you're going to take your mitra or your rolled towel, and you're going to place it under the upper back. So with the stripe facing up, if you're using a mitra, if you're using a rolled towel, then obviously just place it in the center of your spine. So one important thing here is that the bottom of the breastbone, this point here where the rib cage comes up and meets in the middle, needs to line up with the bottom of the mitra or the bottom of your rolled towel. So that's important in terms of getting the correct placement for the upper back. A lot of people think the bottom of the breastbone is down here. It's not there. It's a little bit higher, just up there. Okay, so you can lie onto your back. If you're tight in your upper back and neck, take some extra height under the head like this, like a folded towel or something like that. So you're going to lie so that the bottom of the breastbone is in line with the bottom of the mitra. So take one hand behind you to feel for the bottom of the mitra, or the bottom of your folded towel, and then the other hand to the bottom of the breastbone. Move your sit bones away from you to lengthen the lower back, and then make sure the neck is comfortable. The back of the head needs to lean back into the mitra or the towel so that your chin is pointing straight up to the ceiling, not dropping down and not pointing back. So straight up to the ceiling. Then in this position, shrug your shoulders up toward your ears. Pull them down away from the ears. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the pubic bone, lift the pelvis slightly, take a breath into the belly. Relax the pelvis down and then roll the shoulders forward. Arms straight up into the air, palms facing each other, elbows straight now. Shrug your shoulders up toward your ears. Pull them down away from the ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades back toward the spine. Reach up into the fingertips. Then turn both arms in, palms facing out, cross at the wrist. Try to straighten your elbows. Keep the lower front ribs down. Slowly take the arms back. When you feel the elbows begin to bend or the ribs begin to stick up, stop at that point. Slightly lift the pelvis, take a breath into the belly. So that's a very small lift of the pelvis. I'm talking a millimeter. Slowly bring the arms up. Change the cross of the wrist. Slowly take the arms back again. Lower front ribs heavy. Back of the head pressing back into the mitra or the towel, or if you have support under the head, into that support. Keep trying to straighten the elbows, drop the lower front ribs. Take a little breath. Bring the arms up again. Release the arms out to the side. Bring your hands onto your legs, palms facing each other. Make a fist with the hand, thumbs up. Keep the elbows straight now as you slowly bring the arms back again. Lower front ribs heavy. And keep trying to straighten the elbows, dropping the lower front ribs. Slightly lift the pubic bone, lift the pelvis very slightly. Take a breath. Bring the arms back. Then hold the thumb as well now. Straighten the elbows. Palms facing each other. Imagine you have a sandbag on the lower front ribs. That's keeping them heavy. Keep weight in the back of the head. Keep trying to straighten the elbows. Slightly lift the pelvis. Take a small breath into the belly. Bring the arms up. Spread the fingers, palms facing each other again. Slowly taking the arms back again. Keep straightening the elbows, drop the lower front ribs. Slightly lift the pelvis. Take a breath into the belly. Bring the arms up. Bend the elbows. Lift the chin slightly. Keep weight in the back of the head. So now your chin is pointing back a little more. With the elbows bent, reach back into the fingertips. Lift the elbows up. Reach back into the fingers. Slightly lift the pelvis. Take a small breath into the belly. And bring the arms back. Remove the towel or the mitra from under your back. And lie flat again for a moment and just experience where the spine is now compared to when we looked at it at the beginning. See if there's any noticeable change. And you'll find that doing this kind of exercise regularly really changes the feeling of the spine on the floor. So that's just a simple routine to release stiffness in the shoulders and upper back, which will help the lower back as well. Thanks for joining me today on Nomad Yoga. Namaste.